Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2020. Today we have what on paper looks to be a pretty easy session with our matches against Tux and Stellenbosch FC. The catch is those matches are close together, so fatigue could be an issue, especially in the Stellenbosch match. And we're coming off a draw against Highland Park, which we should have been able to beat easily. So, we're potentially not going to find these as easy as I had hoped. It's a case where we're getting on towards the winter or summer break. Got to put my brain back in Africa mode, and we're really starting to feel the fact that we sold a lot of people over the summer, and so our team does not have the depth we had previous years. Potentially this Ikuma Kivituka that the reserves just signed could be brought into the first team and actually be pretty beneficial because we are weak on fullbacks, but we're not getting him till the 1st of January, so we're going to have to get through this tough period without him. Don't know what CB's. Oh, he's probably upset because I'm not playing him. Like I have played him in the last 3 years. I think he's finally realizing that he's probably not good enough to actually play. But fortunately, Tao is able to talk him off the ledge. I don't think he really wants to leave, but he knows he's not good enough to really break into the team anymore. I doubt I'll be renewing his contract. I don't think I can make any real money selling him. But as much as I appreciate what he did for the team in the early years, I can't justify him just sitting on payroll and not contributing, so I don't see myself renewing him. Nice to see McGuigway doing well. And I'm not surprised Ward is slacking since I don't play him at all anymore. I brought him in, used him for a little bit, and then immediately he got outclassed by other signings that are just about as good and don't eat into my foreign player count. The board's getting active trying to line up transfers before the next transfer window. Apparently Dlamini's doing alright. That's right, we horribly underperformed in the Knockout Cup this year. Fortunately, the board didn't care about that one. No movement in the world rankings for Kenda. Not a lot of movement. The biggest improvement was Malaysia that moved 3 positions. But then I don't think there were any like serious tournaments going on during that international break, so that's not super shocking. Bournemouth want to bring me in. I'm going to decline the interview. The only reason I'm still playing this is to see how far I can go with Amazulu. If I was doing a journeyman or something, I'd definitely take that job offer because that's a huge promotion. But this playthrough has a very specific target. God, the rest of December is going to be brutal. They're all road games up until the next continental match, too. I always find with South Africa, though, the second half of the season is way easier than the first. So if you can make it to December or to January in a pretty good position, you're probably set for the year. It's surviving the crazy amount of matches they hit you with early. Keep away from Makwakwina. We need him. I mean, yes, we need money too. But all the money in the world doesn't matter if I don't have a semi-functional football team. And we're about as depleted as we can get while still meeting the board's requests. We're finally starting to stabilize enough that I don't have to make a lot of changes anymore, which is really nice. But that's not going to last through the really tough schedule we have coming up. Yeah, they're really trying to get Makwakwina away from me. As much as it would suck, there's a decent chance I'm going to lose him during the international break, or during the winter transfer window, just because he's so in demand. And if someone comes up with enough money, I'm just going to be taken right out of the decision-making. The board will just go ahead. That's rough that Matenge was out with shin splints. I mean, I know he's marked as a reserve player, but we bring him in occasionally. I was probably going to have to use him a bit to get through this tough schedule, so losing him is a blow. Neither of those players really makes the first team, even looking at the tough schedule. We'll scout you, sure. And Portland want to get Tunkara. That wouldn't be as devastating, but I still don't want to lose him. Oh, and now Toronto FC want him. He's not my starter, but it's nice to have a bit of depth. So I'd really rather they didn't. Player. Keep scouting. seem to recall him being good. Unfortunately, it switched me over to Canada because of that friendly. Matenge was the only fitness test we needed, and he's capable of playing the full match, so that's good. Not quite into the dangerously hot, and it's windy, so we should get through this without extra fatigue, but we still need to make a statement here after that embarrassing draw against Highland Park. Bringing a pretty good side though. Mirosavljevic isn't great. Lakala is actively bad, but we've got the problem at this position of just finding enough good players to play at left back, and those are the only weaknesses the team has. So we should be looking pretty good here. I really need someone else actively good to go in at left back, because we have one capable player. And then Lakala isn't terrible at filling in. But I really don't want to be playing Lakala at left back. I'd much rather play him at right back. That was some sloppy forward passing. Luckily, Matenge got it right back. And I don't know what he was doing there, trying to shoot true Konko. Or Konko, I guess it would be. Nice shot from Fountain. Satebi was in the right place, though. Lakala is out to prove me wrong about saying that I don't want him in at left back. Another nice strike there. They're parking the bus pretty hard, but we're still getting decent shots. We're probably going to need to find a goal off a set piece to actually get through, though. Satebi looks to be having a good game. Fortunately, we're getting a fair amount of corners. Just barely missed by Mirosavljevic there. Another corner. And Tunkara was offside, so we got through, but we got through by Tunkara not reading the play. You don't really need to show me this. I saw how far offside he was. And I'm not proud. I wouldn't object to drawing a penalty in the or drawing a foul in the box and getting a penalty. If that's how we have to break it through and get a goal, that's how we have to break through and get a goal. I'll take it. We're good at getting the ball up the field. It's just a matter of finding the openings to get the strikes on goal. And part of this is that we don't have the fastest wingers. It's not a problem normally because a lot of the teams in South Africa struggle against wing play, but when they're just parking the bus like they are, they can outrun us and get so many players back in there. And Fountain got a yellow. That's not ideal. We started strong, but people are starting to slack a bit now. I'm not seeing the same level of effort that was early. It's almost halftime now. It'll get perked up at half. It's like once Tinkara's goal got called back, they just completely lost motivation. Mirosavic has been a beast in defense, though. They're doing a really good job of keeping us outside. And that was a terrible strike from Tunkara. We do tend to slump about this time of year, even if we get a good break like we just had that week off. Everyone's mentality is just kind of shot and they need the long gaps, so it's always a struggle to get results in December. That strike from Makwakwena was good, though. He just barely missed the post. And yeah, they don't care that I'm trying to extol them to win the match. This is definitely just a result of the team getting worn down by the hectic first half of the season. The good news is we're still well above where the board wants us to be for this season, so taking a couple of losses here or draws isn't devastating, but given the caliber of teams we're facing, I'd really rather win. We should be able to beat them even having a bad run. We are out shooting them, but not by enough. And stuff like that just should not be happening. That's entirely mental. They're the better players. Yeah, everyone's playing pretty badly. No one's actually performing awful, but this is not the numbers I expect to see being put up against Ducks. So we're going to take Tau off for Monty Bantwa. Hopefully this will freshen things up a bit and get a little more energy, especially since I set him as an attacker. Or an attacking midfielder, not actually on attack, but... hopefully it revitalizes us a bit. Dingate has scored, assisted by Melanzi. That absolutely should not have happened. I mean, it just puts us in third. We're so far above where we're supposed to be in the league right now that things are probably just equalizing, but it hurts when we're beating the good teams and then fucking Tucks are bullying us. Let's see. People are starting to pick up a bit. We're going to take Tunkara off for Saketlong. He's about amongst the most tired and amongst the worst performers. Problem is, the only thing Saketlong really brings to the table that Tunkara doesn't is just freshness. Because, yeah, we're just getting played out of the park at the moment. But one of the worst... Well, I guess Tucks aren't awful this year. They're playing above where they should be, but... They should not be looking like the better team at any point in this match, and they are. Oh, that would have been a good equalizer. At least if we move Saketlong into an inside forward, he's a little better. Neither one of the players we've brought on is really first team quality, but needs must when the devil drives and all that. There we go. We needed that. Matenjwa equalized, assisted by Saketlong. So at least we're not losing this anymore. I would like to get the full 3 points out of this, but at least we're not losing. And that's the big thing. We should be all right if we can get through these matches without losing. Oh, that was almost a goal. Okay, now we're starting to get some decent performances. The only person who's still dragging ass is Makwakwina. So we're going to take him off and put Nick Zelle in. I know I always say I never want to start Nick Zelle, but I don't have a good option to bring in at striker because Ward's not appreciably better. And I would like to keep him at a decent match sharpness just in case I ever need to rely on him. I mean, he's pretty bad, but we don't have a lot of depth. And we might need him, so... This also has the advantage of Ward, who's the more versatile player, remaining rested for the upcoming games. I don't know what they're doing this game, though. It just looks like they have no heart. Like, the fluidity that was present earlier in the season just isn't there for them. They get the ball, they have to think for a really long time about what they do with it. No one looks comfortable passing to each other, and I'm sure it's just the mental fatigue. We've had a brutal first half of the season, even though it's been easier than a couple of the other years. We've been had so much less depth that we've been wearing these guys down pretty good. Yeah, couldn't do better than a tie. Suala, the referee, did good on it. Nedlovo made his 75th career appearance for us. Mirosavic made his 75th appearance in the league. Lacala made his 100th appearance in the league. Fountain made his 125th appearance in the league. So we got a lot of good landmarks, but the performance of that was just embarrassing. We got the player in the match, of the match at least, but yeah, I am far from pleased with what I just saw. That was an embarrassment. Monty Bantwa can be salty all he likes about me yelling at them, but that was embarrassing and they should feel bad. At least Matenjwa put in a good performance. And McQuaquin practiced well. But I'm not very happy with this run of games that we're on right now. We'll see if they can turn it around against Stellenbosch. We're down to just a C plus appraisal from the board because even though we're in second place, they can see the same way I am that this team is dragging ass and just not motivated at the moment. They're not making good decisions. It looks like it's starting to trickle down because the Warriors should have beat the Cosmos under 19s pretty easily. Especially when I let them have two first team players. Maybe this is what we need. Maybe we need to bring in Moses. See if he can part the defense like he parted the Red Sea. Now, Stellenbosch are even worse than Tux, so even though we're having to make pretty extensive changes to the team, most of them aren't going to make us any stronger. We should have an alright chance. Anytime I'm playing Mirosavic in the midfield, it's a bad sign though, so hopefully I can get him back out by the time we go to the game. And get Saketlong off this wing. I mean, no one's awful. They're about 2 stars, which is much worse than I'd want, but it's not like I'm stuck putting a 1-star player out there. And looking at that run of form Stellenbosch is on, we should be able to beat them no matter what. Four to 5 attackers. Let's see. 1, 2. I've only got 2 at the moment. That might have been part of the problem, that I just didn't have enough attackers, but I don't have many people that can play on attack that are fresh right now. Can I make Mirosavic can attack just as well as he defends. But that is part of the issue, that I just don't have enough attackers. This week is going to be brutal given that we're already struggling. But after that, we've got a big rebound section. Because I don't think we have anything for all of January, so that'll give everyone a chance to get comfortable, get their heads back in the game. This is why I always say December is so rough with South African teams. At least I'm assuming it's the same for everyone else. Mitenge was still the only injury we have to monitor, and he's fine. David's been injured, but we don't have a lot of Canadian stuff coming up, so that's not the worst. He was only going to be out for 12 days. I don't think that's even going to come in before or matter given the next international break. I think is at the end of January, maybe even into February. Another hot but not brutal day. Oh, I've got this shit. It's just resting my fingers slightly on the trackpad and just too much pressure, so I didn't get to change the team up. So we are taking this team into the match. Can't make subs now, that's my fault. I need to take my hand off the trackpad when I'm talking. But that's fine. We've got a good enough team out here that we should be able to do alright. And I actually kind of like that we're keeping them on because this is a pretty winnable match, even with the state the team is in. We got enough people that are hungry, trying to break into the first team, and or the starting 11s of the first team, and it means that our better players will be rested for the next match, which I think is tougher than Stellenbosch. Still, I would have liked to have at least seen what the assistant manager suggested for it, but nice to get an early corner. A big dramatic shakeup of the team like this might have been just what they needed. Even though it was accidental, it might work out really well for us. Oh, Tunkara gets his 10th of the season, assisted by Mokwakwana. This is the sort of thing we needed. Just get the players that are hungry on the pitch. Although now Tunkara is getting hurt. That's not good. because I'm going to need to put him in at least one of the or two more games I have this half of the season. He's bounced back a bit, but he's still at 72%. I'm probably going to have to use a sub on him this game, and I don't think I'm going to be able to put him in either. Oh, and they equalized. Mamela on a solo goal. I don't know how he beat Nidlovo there. Nidlovo's usually solid on those sort of shots. Almost a nice strike from McQuaquina there. We're really seeing how badly the team is slumping right now, though. They're just like, we're not getting the sort of performances we were earlier in the season. And I know a lot of my best players aren't on the pitch for this game, but still, there should have been some effort to get that ball back. There's a little too much just sitting around watching things happen instead of making it happen. We drew a nice free kick there from Zoki. Unfortunately, it was just out of the box. And Tunkara is getting exhausted because of his injury. Saketlon gets another goal, assisted by Tunkara. I'm going to need to keep Tunkara in for a while. I'm going to probably try to nurse him all the way through the match because he's playing pretty well. At least it looks like other teams are slumping too because we're still in second. Oh, but Coupe scores his first of the season, assisted by Ashur. At least this time, if we're going to draw, it's because Stellenbosch are playing really good instead of just that we're sucking. Because a 2-2 draw feels against a bad team feels a lot better than a 0-0 draw. We did our part. We went out and scored goals. We're back down in fourth now, which is kind of where I feel like we belong. Like I've been saying all through the first half of the season, this is where I expect to be sitting this year. The board set us the goal of being mid-table. But it does feel a whole lot better to be scoring goals and having them match me than to be sitting there just listless and not able to make anything happen. Yeah, they are actually working hard this time. They're playing well. Like, sure, they look a little flaccid, but looking at how things are going and where we are in the season, that's to be expected. This happens every year. We know these guys don't have the endurance to maintain this schedule for as long as the season expects them to. So we get these flat performances in December, and it's kind of just a case of hang on through them. I'd like to see some more decisiveness from them, but at least they're not losing the ball. It's kind of nice to see them actually looking for a gap. And Tao's put us ahead again, assisted by Sefema. It was only his third goal of the season, which is surprising given how instrumental he's been to so much of the game. We only got back up to third this time, so other games that are happening right now are really mattering. But it's nice to see them playing smart for once instead of just firing the ball into a crowd of bodies and hoping it gets through like they were doing last game. Mattia got a yellow. It's weird. We've got a bunch of people doing excellent, and then we've got a bunch of people just very flat performances. So we're going to take Sanago off and put in Adam. This should up our defense a little bit and maybe let us keep that goal lead. Although we're putting in Adam as a central defender where he's not great instead of on the wings where he is good. But I gotta make do with what's available to me. If Mattia could have scored there, it would have been really nice. We would have finally had a bit of separation. It looks like Stellenbosch are getting a little scared of us because they're starting to go back to the goaltender instead of trying to pass it up through us like they were earlier. So they might be breaking. Oh. Come on, get me another goal. Tunkara got a yellow and to go on top of his injury. Fantastic. Senamel is still not playing good for us, so we're going to take him off and put Lakala in. It looks like Lakala has gotten worse at being a fullback. But that's probably partially a product of his performance the last couple of games. He's fresh, which counts for a lot, though. And Mamela got another goal assisted by Zwan. So we're drawing again at 3-3. And back down in fourth. Ndlovu is having a pretty dismal match. He should have had that one. He's usually got very good hands. Tunkara wants to come off, but he's still one of my best players on the pitch, so I don't think I'm going to let that happen. Oh, I'm glad that missed. If we lost this, I'd be very upset. We're going to take Siasi off for Nixele, though. Funny, I was conserving Ward because I thought I'd be able to put him in, but it's the defense that's falling apart here. But I can move Nixele up. No, I can't. Mirosevic is terrible there. How about Sefema? No. Tao can't possibly go there. No. I'm going to have to just deal with Nixele on that wing. Zwane scored another unassisted goal. This is not the game to have my goaltender fall apart on me, and unfortunately, Nidlovu is not playing well today. We've got 5 minutes of stoppage time. Hopefully we can make something happen. Other than Miroslavovic getting a card. I gotta say, when I started this game, I was not expecting it to be a 7-goal game, let alone one that we lost. But I really don't think there's much I could have done different. I mean, I could have brought a stronger team if I hadn't accidentally clicked through the team selection at the start. But I was all in on trying to rest them because I thought I could still beat Stellenbosch, so I don't think I would have done that anyway. Referee did pretty good, so apparently the fact that all the yellow cards went to us was deserved. This was a pretty dismal performance today in both the games we played. We've got Super Sport next. The good thing is I'm not getting an email about Tunkara's injury, so he should bounce back, so we might actually have him for another match this season. Or this half of the season. It's not the end of the season, but we are coming up to that big gap. But first we have to get through Super Sport, who are 7th, so they're the toughest one we have to face. And this is why I wanted to rest a lot of people against Stellenbosch, because I thought we could win that without it. And then we host the Sudanese side, Al Marrakech Odurman. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, like so many of the African names. But normally that should be a very winnable match. With the run of form we're on right now, it's going to be really tough. It's definitely going to be tougher than Super Sport, who are already going to be a challenge. So we're right into it. It's going to be a challenging run in, but hopefully you'll join me next time to see how those two games go. And thank you for watching. Have a great day, everyone.